How's it going, connectors? Welcome to another fresh episode of Staying Connected, where we seek stories that connect us with one another. There's just too much emphasis on differences that we forget that we're just one big community. We seek to learn about life lessons, experiences, setbacks, and vulnerabilities of one another. We're here to share through open and honest conversations. How's it going, guys? I'm Kenny.
And I'm Scott. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So for today's episode, we have a special guest, Steph.
Steph in the house.
How are you doing today, Steph?
Good. How are you guys?
And as always, so just a little bit about Steph, and please feel free to fill in the rest. This is what she gave us. She's a food and gym junkie.
Basically, yes.
At Steph Kuroda, you will see that there's a lot of food and gym stuff, but she's also a structural engineer by day. So I want to ask you more about that. Beginning with how did you get into engineering? Why engineering?
So I got into engineering only because in high school, right, you kind of go through like all the subjects: math, science, history, English, and I definitely was not an English or history person. I don't like reading, I don't like writing. I liked math a lot, and then science was like okay for me. So, and then my dad's an engineer too, so that was a big factor. It's like, oh, since I see my dad doing it growing up, obviously I'm like, I kind of know what it's about, I guess, so it's like not so scary. But he's electrical engineering, and then I got into actually civil/structural engineering.
Oh,
So
what's the difference between?
between electricals is like what was that?
Yeah, electrical, civil, structural.
Oh, so electrical is like dealing with circuits, like electricity, more I would say through college, because that's when I figured out like which engineering I wanted to go into, because there's all different kinds.
Mm-hmm.
Electrical was very like detailed, or not, I mean they're all detailed, but it's like more smaller, on the smaller scale,
Right.
where like you're doing, I don't know, very nano almost, like on a, versus civil, where it's like more, I do like bridges and infrastructure, so it's bigger,
More for the civilian
structures. Yeah, and you can actually see it. Like electrical engineering, it's hard to see visually.
Okay.
And then civil, it's like you can physically see it, which I personally like, because then when the project's done, you're just like, oh hey, like you drive by, like, oh, I was on that project, like
I did that.
built that part of the thing, so that's what geared me towards going to civil versus electrical towards the end. As well as like I did internships at Hawaiian Electric,
Okay.
where that's where I thought I wanted to be an electrical engineer, and then I didn't know they had a civil engineering department. So I got to meet some of those guys, and then I liked what they did better, basically. I enjoyed it more. So that's how I got into civil. Yeah.
So about for structural engineering, is that something similar, or is that like you get more pinpointed and like the integrity of the building or the tunnel or whatever?
It's structural is so what they say, so civil engineering, so there's engineering and they have like electrical, civil, mechanical, computer science, and then within civil you have other branches within it, where it's like structural, environmental. Oh my god, I'm blanking, but like there's other branch, or construction and engineering. So yeah, and I decided to go with structural because when I was interning at HECO, I was interning at HECO over the summer, and then there's civils and structurals within the civil departments at HECO that I was in. And then structural wise, they're just like, I liked designing, I liked doing the number crunching, which is more structural. So the guys that were in that, they're like, oh, you should go get your master's in structural then if you want to do that. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I wasn't really, I just figured, why not, like, oh, might as well. Plus they were like, I think it's a good experience. Like you'll have more opportunities that way too. Like because you'll have more like on your resume, or just like more education, right? More education, more opportunities. That was the basic equation. So I was like, okay, sure, why not? And I came back home for the master's program. So that was nice too. It was cheaper. I went to UH versus staying up at UW for the master's programs. That was that too.
How come you went to UW versus staying here?
Oh gosh, that well, so I went to Iolani for high school, and I think we were you're kind of expected almost to go to a mainland college. I feel like it's very like, oh, you're gonna go to an Ivy League school or something, right? But that was definitely not me. I was like, I'm not on that level. But also, I mean, myself, I'm an only child. I wanted to experience something different. Like I'm so used to just in my own bubble. You know, I grew up in a bubble, and then like I never even like going from I was at Iolani from kindergarten. I got in like 7th grade, but before that, I was like in a super small private school. And then yeah, Iolani was bigger, but it was still like, you know, a private school. I was still like in a bubble in my opinion. I wanted to experience something different, and I felt like going to the mainland, being away from family, like would definitely push me out of my comfort zone. So that's why and then like UW, I had cousins that went there and they both enjoyed it. And I was just like, okay, sure, why not? They have a husky as their mascot. I like huskies. That was how I decided. But yeah.
Do you see yourself going back up there to work?
Not to live, but definitely like I definitely want to visit. Like I was supposed to go back last November, but you know, COVID. Like my friend was supposed to get married. I was like a bridesmaid, and I was like so excited. And then
yeah. So how have you been since like the pandemic started?
Anything changed?
Honestly, work-wise, we somehow got busier. I don't know how that happened. Like I think because they still were pushing construction. So construction never really came to a halt on our end in terms of, because I only do infrastructure again, which is roadways, stuff that always needs to be maintained, and they'll always have money coming in. I don't know how it all works, but we basically will always have work to do regardless of the economy, it seems like. So yeah. So like, what was that?
It seems like for work-wise, not much has changed for you.
No, like I mean, yeah, I think because I know a lot of stuff got halted. They also pushed us to design more, so that like design the project, because we see the whole project through. We go from like design phase to construction. Like we actually go out there and watch it get constructed. So sure, yeah, some of our design, the construction side of it was difficult to get to, especially on the neighbor islands because of travel. But design wise, they gave us more projects, like the state and stuff, where we were getting all these projects because they wanted us to have it ready for the construction industry to just go when the pandemic got better. Like they wanted to just flood the economy with the construction jobs and whatever. So that was that's what from my understanding, how it all played out for us during the pandemic, which is good. Yeah.
So aside from work, like your personal, like, you know, you go to the gym, work out, go eat everywhere.
Spring.
I definitely love working out. I think number one, it is a big stress reliever for me. Like I can just get it all out. Like I feel refreshed after. Like, yeah, I'm dead because I'm like worked out so hard, but at the same time, I'm like, I feel like my mind cleared from, you know, whatever busy day at work or whatever stress I have. So, you know, those endorphins really, they're real.
You have a preferred type of exercise method, like cardio, weightlifting, conditioning?
So I used to be super heavy cardio. Like I did 2 marathons, but the first one was like really, really bad. Like I injured myself 2 weeks before the marathon. So that went horribly. Like I only wanted to do it once because it was a bucket list thing, but because the first one was so bad, I was like, I'm gonna do it again just because I want to give it my all kind of thing. So I was super into cardio because I thought that's where weight loss was. Because I was also like, I don't know, you know, a girl, right? Girls want to be skinny.
Yes, you want to get jacked.
And they yeah, and they're just like, oh, cardio, that's what you got to do. And so that's what my mindset was back then. But then it kind of evolved. I started going to the gym. That's when I met Scott. But yeah, and then like that's when I got introduced to weights. And of course, yeah, as a girl, I was intimidated with the whole, "Oh, I don't want to get bulky, blah, blah, blah." And but then I learned like you won't get bulky if you do it. There's different ways to train to get a certain goal that you want. And I just learned like I've learned to also actually kind of like looking a little more muscular. So yes, I do like, is it strength? I want to say strength conditioning.
Yeah, throw in that.
Yeah. And that's like cardio is just like to just sprinkle it in because just to keep it like a variety, I guess. I don't know, balance.
Basically for the food that you
Yes.
there you go.
Yes.
You take in.
Yeah, you are looking quite lean. Is there like specific diet that you do or?
Oh, I was just eating Oreos before this, so
okay. If you're tuning in and you haven't followed Steph on her food blog, she has a food blog and it is amazing.
Yes.
It's so much. It's all food.
So well, and like, you know, I scroll through your feed and I'm like, oh man, I need that right now.
Oh my gosh.
Nails too.
Thank you.
Sure, you compliment her nails.
Oh yeah.
Very big part of the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Here's her picture.
I don't know how I do it while lifting weights. I'm surprised I haven't broken. Oh, knock on wood, but yeah.
Do you have a favorite exercise?
I think it would be deadlifting, just because I personally can lift the heaviest with a deadlift, and it just feels like I'm a badass when I do that. I don't know. That's just me personally, but yeah, I saw the most growth with a deadlift, so that's why I like it the best. But
what's the most you pulled?
I think it was 205.
Dang.
One rep.
It's almost double
that.
Right.
Thanks. But yeah, I actually don't lift that heavy anymore just because I kind of was like, oh, maybe I should like watch out, like, you know, my body getting, I don't know, just taking care of it. Like that was like just another goal. What was my max I could hit? And then I was just satisfied with like over 200. And I was like, okay, done. Just like now maintain. So that's my thing now, is just maintaining what I have.
How often do you work out throughout the week?
5 to 6 times a week. Oh. Is that a lot?
No.
That's commitment. That's dedication.
Especially adding on your job too. That's not easy.
Yeah. I barely get sleep. That's the problem. I should definitely work on my sleep.
Well, Scott and I had a conversation before. I got to work on my sleep as well. So, you know, you're not the only person.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like how long do you sleep? Or what's your goal? I don't even.
My goal is like 7-8 hours.
How much do you get now?
Right now, I get like maybe 5 to 6.
I'm around there too. Yeah. But the thing is, like, if you do sleep a lot, like you're sore the next day. But if you don't sleep that much, it's like you're not sore. You can still work out, and then the following day, the DOMs kick in.
Oh, I don't know if I ever experienced that. Maybe I'm not working hard enough.
Yeah, you gotta bump up the volume a little bit.
Oh no. Okay. No. Oh, that sucks. I mean, being sore is like addicting though, because then you're just like, oh yeah, it's working.
Going back to that story of how we met. Fun story. I have met my partner through Steph. I do give her full credit for that. All
right.
And they're so like, she didn't even like come to the classes I was attending because she's like, I can't make it to those classes. So she ended up going to Scott's classes. And
the thing is, I think she went on a weekend like once. So I only had like a week to like woo her like once a week. Then again, I had a girlfriend at the time, so I wasn't interested. But I could tell she had a thing for me. But so my first impression of Steph, because we both went to like the same gym, was it was like, oh, finally there's someone like that's young and like around my age. Because everyone that went there, they're like a lot older with kids, and it's hard to connect with them. Yeah. And then like when I saw Steph, like, oh, okay, cool, someone young, you know, someone that could relate to like someone our age. Yeah, relate to. And Steph was just a super cool person, super outgoing. So it made, I think at that time I was still training. So even though I made a lot of mistakes, she was just like super cool with it, you know, because there are some people, I do remember, because then like, I was like, oh, thanks, Steph. That's pretty cool. Because I would mess up and I could see some of the faces on people. They're like, You know,
Oh.
there's this trainer named Devin, and Devin was like the best, right? Everybody wanted Devin, but it was when it was my turn to fill, and they're like, oh my goodness, this guy is like, he's not getting the counts right, he's not getting the time, and like I didn't get the flow. So it was, I don't think I've ever thanked you for, you know, just being that.
No problem.
So I've always been
You're a
very
hero.
very grateful of that, because not a lot of people do that to me.
I like don't even remember this. I just
It's the little things, and now you
Things,
know.
yeah.
Now you know.
wow.
Great that we're bringing it up now, years later.
Years later, holy shit! I don't even. What was that like? I don't even know how long ago that was.
Like 3-4 years ago, more. 4.
I was gonna say 5 or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
4 maybe.
Advice.
But my first impression. No, there's still.
No. Go ahead.
So no. I agree with you. Like when I was first going to the gym, I was like, oh my god, the older people, right? And just like even I'm not good in group settings. Like I'm good with one-on-ones, but like in a group, like I don't know what to say. I just like I'm just like a fly on the wall, like oh whatever. Plus I'm like coach wise, I don't know if I was intimidated by you, but because you're like my age, so I was like, oh whoa, like he's super legit. Oh, and he's like teaching and he's like around my age. Oh shoot, I hope I don't like mess up or something like that. Like I remember thinking that, like when it's people closer to my age and I'm like the student, I get even more nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about getting nervous around people, because I feel the same, because Kenny would tell you whenever we go out to group settings, it's unless someone like
it's a whole new bunch of
people. It's like I'll ask a few questions, and then like usually you get really whack responses,
Yeah.
And then it's like I want to ask more, but we've told this story many times on the podcast, but when I met Kenny, after we got through that phase of like, oh, where are you at? Where do you work? It was like, oh,
basic stuff.
Yeah, what do you like to do for fun? And then like there was this good reciprocation between the both of us. He wasn't like one of those people that's like, oh, what do you do? Oh, you're not a vice president? Oh, okay, just here's your card. And yeah, the conversation would die down. But I'm wondering, how do you, like
how do you make that approach?
Yeah, how do you make that approach? Or for networking events, like what do you do?
That is okay. Networking, especially for engineering, it's still really hard for me because I'm still, unless like with older people, it's hard. Like, adults, like our parents' age or something like that for me is still really hard just because I feel like I still don't know a lot. So I don't know what to say or ask because I'm like, oh, am I going to sound dumb or something, especially in like the work setting. That's for me. When it comes to just like new people, like if it's a friend's friend or like I'm brought into like I just know one person and then they bring me into a new group. It's super hard. I usually just kind of gravitate towards one person, and then if they like food, then that's where I start getting like more talkative and animated, and I feel more comfortable because it's something I'm obviously passionate about, and it just makes me more excited. It makes me forget that like I'm nervous somehow. I don't know.
Especially now, it's been such a with the whole pandemic, we haven't been meeting up with people, and our communication.
So that it hasn't affected me that much because like I'm such an introvert that I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not seeing anyone anytime soon. That's okay.
I was surprised by that because then you don't seem like an introvert. You seem very like bubbly and outgoing.
That's what people tell me. Like I think when I first meet people, they're like, oh wow, she's super bubbly. She's super like, bubbly, cute. I don't know, but I get drained really easily.
Me too.
Yeah, same.
A social battery just whenever I went to Kelly's like family party and there's like a bazillion of them, like just meeting new people is so exhausting. And then a thing that I've done is like I would just excuse myself to go to the bathroom to like just breathe for like a couple of minutes,
wash your face.
Yeah, no, like just for like.
No, I don't. And then on top of that, like small talk
that drains me so much. Like just repeating the same thing over and over. Oh yes,
Exactly.
I do this. I whatever. I went here. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, oh.
You know, just
Tell
that,
me
that
something new.
yeah, it's like after like you tell them, okay, this is where I'm at and this is what I do for work. It's like, let's go to hobbies, you know, like
Yeah.
what do you do?
So,
Yeah.
And it's tough with older people
Yeah.
because I don't golf, I don't garden,
Oh,
mhm.
the garden.
I don't garden. What do older people do? I don't have grandkids. I don't have kids of my
Oh
own.
yeah, just talk about kids in general. I'm just like,
Yeah,
I
we
don't
don't-
know.
I can't relate. I'm sorry.
Still young.
I know
so.
me. I know memes and Instagram.
Memes, I know tech, yeah, emojis, all of that stuff. But you know, we all love food here, and you know, I kind of wanted to touch base on Steph's food
Yes.
journey.
Yes.
Oh,
What
God.
inspired you into starting? When did you start it, and what inspired you?
Okay, so I guess a joke from, I don't know if it's a joke. Yeah, it's a joke. From like high school, my nickname, I don't know how, it's such an unattractive nickname. I was garbage disposal. Like I would just eat everyone's leftovers that they didn't want. 'Cause I just loved eating so much. And like if you go on my Facebook, oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. For some reason, I always took pictures of me eating food. I'd be like, wait, get a picture of me eating this. And you're like, oh. I'm like, I was scrolling through my Facebook recently. I was like, oh my gosh, what was wrong with me? So it evolved from that to like just taking pictures of my food. And I would just keep it for myself. And then Instagram happened, like, it came to be. And I got it back in college, like undergrad. And back then it was just, people's new Facebook. So they would just, have heavy filters and of everyone. I was just like, oh, I wasn't really into that. I honestly don't know how I got into posting the food, to be honest. I just remember one day I was like, oh, I'll just post it on my Instagram. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun, whatever. And I just kind of went from there. But yeah, so I've been doing like into foods for a long time, just putting it out there for like social media or whatever. I guess it started in 20, I don't know, before 20, a little after 2014, maybe 20, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we're 2021.
And it has evolved to you and Chris making like cooking videos now.
Yeah, because of the pandemic, because neither of us can cook, and we're like, oh no, we should probably learn.
Have you considered making like a YouTube video of like just you and Chris's cooking?
People have kind of threw that out there, but then we're so bad. I mean, I guess that would be the fun part of it, right? But then
like a TikTok.
What?
Like a TikTok?
Like a TikTok.
Oh, it just, okay, both of us, we just aren't really, I don't know, like that good. Like I tried doing reels and it's just so time consuming, and I'm like,
it is. I totally agree with you.
Oh, neither of us can like put in the amount of time and effort and energy into it. I feel like we're both, like, she's super busy. Like she can barely keep up with just posting how she is right now. So I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll just do it when we can, kind of thing, and just throw it on our Instagram. But yeah,
I do want to ask more about like because I know you and Kenny both promote local businesses a lot. They reach out to you? Do you reach out to them? Or how does that work? And Kenny, you can share light on that too.
Yeah.
For me, like, I think the first one I ever got was this Mauna Loa one, like the chocolate macadamias or whatever. And they reached out to me, and like I was like, whoa, what is this? Like, they're just gonna give me chocolates. And so
score.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, like, and I mean, I don't know, like, you just do a photo with it. It's not like I didn't get paid or anything. It's just like, oh, we will give you the product, and we just ask that you post about it on your Instagram. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure, that's not too bad. But yeah, the Foodland one was an application thing where they're just like, oh, we're looking for ambassadors. Please fill out this application if you're interested, and we'll contact you, blah, blah, blah. So that's the only one I've actually reached out. Other than that, like, I don't, most of them, I would say like 99% of my stuff is, or some people just like come and ask, I guess. But Yeah, I don't know how to go and hustle, those kind of
Yeah.
things. I just like sit on the side and like wait kind of thing. Like, oh, if you want to reach out to me, then cool. If not, like it's fine. I'm just gonna go where I want to go
Yeah.
and support what I want to support kind of thing.
I mean, I've had my food blog for, I mean, less than a year still, so I'm still pretty fresh to
Oh,
this. And
Mhm.
it's a good mixture of people reaching out to me and myself also reaching out to other businesses to see how it can help. I guess one of my first ones was Ruger Market.
Oh
Your
yeah,
Diamond Head.
Konnected.
Yep. So they're known for all of everything. Their poke, their
Their
all of
meats.
their meats, everything.
Where's
And
that?
right on Diamond Head, or like
Montserrat?
Montserrat Avenue,
Oh,
in that area near KCC.
It's like in the residential area, so it's
yeah,
kind of
it's kind of hard to find.
by
yeah.
Coffee Bean.
You're in that area,
Oh,
but
okay.
like it's in the neighborhood, so
Yeah.
it's easy.
I only recently went there too. I was like, this place is such a random location.
It is. So yeah, that's kind of like the first business that reached out and seeing how I could help or how we can kind of work together. And
And you
yeah.
made a song.
and I
Oh
recently,
my
made a song about
So
their simply
talented.
amazing Poke Bowl, which they're known for.
Yeah, Kenny, we need a song.
Stay
Oh, you guys should have a
we,
song.
we need a jingle. We need a jingle
So
on the way.
but aside from that, it's been a lot of collaboration throughout the past year with other foodies, other local businesses, and it's been such an incredible experience just to, have that partnership with each other.
Have you guys
Oh.
oh sorry, go ahead, Steph.
I was gonna ask, like, how do you reach out? Because like that's something I don't know how to do. Like I've never done that.
Yeah,
So how,
I mean,
you just like
sometimes I message them saying, oh, I might be in the area, so I might come check out you guys. And
Mhm.
I mean, they see my feed or they can see your feed, and from there you can just ask them like, how can I help?
Mm.
And because every business nowadays are looking for ways to spread the word, and
Yeah.
if you make that approach, it's good for them to be aware that you're willing to help. So
Do you think TikTok is like the new like where it's going? Like people are gonna now like even businesses are gonna start.
I mean, I've seen TikTok being used a lot more. I mean, even Instagram Reels. So they're kind of similar. What I don't know. It's a similar process because I don't personally have a TikTok. I have Instagram Reels, but
Mhm.
I feel like TikTok is slowly evolving into who knows what.
It might be the new business platform. Who knows? I have
Pretty
no
much,
idea.
yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
Are you guys looking to the opportunity arises monetize from your Instagram
Oh my
account?
gosh.
You ever thought?
uh,
I was just talking to Chris about this. Like literally we were talking about it today, but no, I like for me, like I don't think so. Just because like I don't see myself leaving my job
Mhm.
and to monetize on it, I know I would have to put more effort into it.
Mhm.
And I don't think I have the time right now. Like it'll get to a point where I don't think I'll have fun anymore. And
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen. And um I'm fine just like doing it as a hobby and nothing more, like just supporting and seeing people enjoy whatever I post. Like that's enough for me, for me.
And I feel the same way as well. I'm out here to pursue my passion and also help people, but to make money off of it, it's not really.
So someone gives you 5 grand right now.
No.
No, I'm just here. No, that's very admirable because I know I do have some friends with like tens of thousands of followers, and they definitely when businesses do reach out to them, they do tell the business like, hey, I'll repost your stuff, but there is a fee that you have to pay because based on their audience, right?
Is this like mainland? No, here.
Yeah, I have some mainland friends, but like name them, just call them out.
Oh,
but
no, don't worry.
I have had some friends that have monetized from it, and that's all they do now. They quit their job and they focus on that, which is cool too. You cannot
Wow.
the hustle, right?
I feel like it's hard here though, because it's such a small island, and I mean, it's probably, you probably notice like there's just the foodie community is just so saturated.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's just so many. It's just hard. I feel like for anyone, if they want to pursue it, it's going to be hard to make it a career. Because there's so many people like us that like just are willing to do it for free, just promote. You want to help. So if you got those people, and then why would someone pay?
Exactly.
You know, when you can get it done for free by these like people like us that just want to help. You know, so I mean, we both want to help, but just one is like asking for money, and just like, oh, yeah.
Have either of you guys ever refused to promote a business? Has that ever come up? Like you just don't believe in the product, or you had a taste of the product and it wasn't that good, and you was like, oh, that's okay, sorry.
I've only had that like for my own experience, or like they didn't ask me, but just like I went to somewhere and I'm just like, oh, the food was okay, but I still took nice pictures, so I'll just post it and be like, this is what I ordered. But I'm like,
right.
I'm not gonna handle.
That's the thing too, you know, whenever we try these new places or just anywhere, sometimes, you know, we have like these high expectations, and all of a sudden and you know, you can post it, but I think for me, I just, you know, kind of just take photos, and then if it's worth posting, then yeah.
Like I know you guys do want to support local businesses, but sometimes it's just not that good of a product. So, and you don't want to.
Yeah.
But I did have a few businesses, you know, just ask like, how can we improve, and yeah. So
I do appreciate those where they like want the honest feedback, and they want to like what is it called? Something. Oh my gosh,
constructive criticism.
Yes. Yeah.
So. Has there been any businesses that asked you that and they've made the necessary changes? And you don't have to name the business.
Yeah. I mean,
you could if you want. You can plug them in.
It was the alley. Because when it was so, I think it went within the first week, because the guy invited me over, and then you know how COVID friendly have the screen and that plastic thing in front, and then their store was just so loud, I couldn't hear the worker. They got my order wrong, and I was like, like, so he asked like, oh, is there anything we can improve? I'm like, oh, communication is very difficult in this place because it's so loud. So the order got messed up, which is fine. Like, I'm okay, but I don't know, just moving forward, maybe if there's a way for you to like have a speaker or something, I don't know, but I can't hear them and they can't hear me. I know they can't because they inputted it wrong. And it's like, oh, okay. And then the next time I came back, it was like maybe 2 weeks later, they had like the whole speaker system set up. I don't know if you got on.
Is that like what you see at the movies when you order, I don't know.
Yeah,
you get your ticket and all that.
Oh wait. Yeah. So at the cashier, they have like a little speaker thing where I guess you can hear them, and then a microphone where they can hear you.
Yeah. Similar to that then.
Yeah. And then I think now they have like a speaker system outside or something, because now you have everyone standing outside. So to hear their order, they have it on a speaker. Like, number 20.
Crowded like every day.
Yeah, crazy. But the line moves pretty fast, so that's good.
Yes, it moves very quick.
I'm surprised because that's a mainland company. Usually, when a company's that big, you know,
they have things set already.
Yeah. How about you, Kenny?
Not really. Well, actually, recently, I guess I ordered what's it called? Elemental Kitchen. They're known for the birria, lumpias, wontons that I posted a while back, and you know, they're still fresh in the business, and they just left a note on like one of my items and asking like, if you have any improvements for us, let us know. So
what was your suggestion?
I think the sauce itself was a little bit like bland. So,
I need more food
Okay.
samples to make an appropriate
but then
suggestion.
after that, it was fine. So,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
very cool. Okay, well, if you're a business, please hit up Steph at St Kuroda
Mhm.
on Instagram, and then come eat Hawaii.
yes.
You guys, I need to make one. Huh?
yeah.
Nah, it's for selfish reasons. If I make one.
But yeah, food brings us together, and yeah.
Oh, okay. So let's go ahead and jump to some questions that we have for Steph.
So I get my outline ready.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We have so many questions.
Oh no. This is where you're gonna have to edit a lot because I'm gonna take a lot to answer
No,
or think about.
Please, we did send these questions to Steph beforehand, but please feel free to add on to it. So I know in engineering, and feel free to correct me, there's not a lot of women in the field for a reason. What advice would you give someone that's like up and coming and she wants to get into engineering, or even
Oh, as a woman?
yeah, or just you can give one for women and just a regular person that's trying to do what you want to do or what you're doing.
What I realized is, I don't know if it's for every engineering company, but for where I'm at, you definitely have to use and remember everything that you learned in undergrad and grad school if you went to grad school for designing, which is really hard because I'm like your typical like cram and then dump it on the test and then dump it out of my brain. Relearn, like, I gotta make space for my brain. But yeah, for what I'm doing, it's you gotta constantly remember things that you learn, plus on top of like learning new stuff. So I don't throw it out of your memory. Like, don't think like, oh, college, like you can learn it on the job kind of thing. For my case, at least, that wasn't true. So yeah, definitely don't slack off.
Okay.
Do you have a certain process to help you remember to do it? Like you read it and then you do it, or?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely, I always have to constantly use it. If it's, I use it or I lose it.
Mhm.
So sometimes it is just, if I didn't design a certain thing for a while, I will kind of have to spend time looking back on thankfully I keep all my projects and all my calculations. So as long as I can remember what project I worked on it, I can look back on it to kind of refresh my memory. Yeah. Oh, and don't throw away your textbooks. Don't resell them.
Yeah.
My friends
That's
did.
what I did after school.
Oh, I had to. Thankfully, I didn't do that for mine, and like now it's in my bookshelf at work.
So engineering concepts, they remain the same. No matter.
Yeah, they remain the same. Yeah. So it's good to have your textbooks with you, from like even like the super basic ones, like mechanics and materials, statics, like stuff that's like for any engineering field. I feel like electrical, mechanical. Yeah. Just keep your textbooks.
I know.
Sure, yeah, I think so.
Yep. Next one.
Feel free to know in order,
Yeah.
keep her on her toes.
Oh no.
Okay, so this one, right? Okay, so next question. What is something you believe in that many other people don't?
Yeah,
you're good.
I just a preface for this one. I got the answer from a question from Peter Thiel. He asks this question on his like job interviews. What's something like you believe in that many people don't? So that in a way, when he asks people that, like he can see how they think. So
oh my gosh. What is something? Wait, did I even answer? Was this a question?
Yeah.
If anything, we can go back to it. Would you like to go back to it later?
What is anything you believe in? I think I was still on the college thing when I answered that, like the mindset. Oh.
Okay.
We're gonna have to cut this.
Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that later. So since engineering, they work very long hours. Like, what advice can you give for someone that like wants to fit in like exercise, wants to fit in their blog, their
Oh.
foodie blogs, or like, is it to set a schedule, or how do you do it?
I set a schedule. Like for me, yeah, everything is a routine. I established like basically a routine where I would go to the gym. It's always going to be at like 5:30 to 6:30 or whatever. It's always in that time. And then I'll always set before I go to sleep, maybe a couple hours to go through Instagram and like whatever, do whatever I want on there. So I try, I'm very built a habit on it. I don't know, like I just set a schedule and I just keep to it. And that's what has worked best for me.
That's it. And if you do miss like a workout or you miss a post, like do you go twice as hard the next day, or?
For the post, no. For working out, yes.
You don't post every day though, right?
No.
I
I was at one point and then I was like, this is too much work. Too much. Screw
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Same boat
It
as
should
you.
be fun. It should be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna get into like connecting with others. As you know, we are staying connected. Here we go. So what's your best method of connecting with others? And why do you think it's important to connect with others?
So my best way, being an introvert, thankfully, like Instagram I like it because I can talk to people behind a phone, behind a screen, because I'm very shy. And when I first meet new people, I can't even look them in the eye, kind of thing. That's how nervous I am, or that's how shy I am. So in that sense, how do I stay connected? It's through technology for me. And what was the other part?
Why do you think it's important to
Oh,
others?
okay, yeah. So as much as I am an introvert and I grew up just not wanting to talk to people, I've grown to realize how you can just learn so much from people, and how you can find connections. Obviously, like with almost anyone, you can learn, you can just grow so much. And I don't know, I just love listening to people. I'm more of a listener. I love to listen to what people have to say, their experiences, and just getting on that more personal level with people, like really knowing them outside from like whatever you see through Instagram or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's just nice.
I feel the same. I feel the same, especially when you connect with someone and if they're willing to share with you, that's like the greatest feeling. It's like, yes, tell me more. Yeah, it's like, tell me more about your life. Like, what else do you do besides working out? Work out. There's so much more than you than just that. And once we do find, it's like a friend for life.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I like this one. What's your favorite failure? And do you have a particular failure that has set you up for your success?
Oh my God.
Shall we share one as you think of yours?
What is my favorite?
I can share mine. I can share mine as you guys think of yours. I think I shared this before. Yes, okay. I think it was a relationship failure, like way back in the day.
Okay, I can do that. Okay.
Anyways, the girl I was dating at the time, I think what I did was like I spent too much time with her, and I didn't spend enough time focusing on me and developing me and all that. I was just spend all day playing soccer with her and just hang out with her instead of getting a job, instead of developing skills, instead of finding any way possible to improve my network and all that. And then when things went south, and then we broke up, I just had nothing because I spent all those years just focusing on her and focusing on the relationship instead of myself. So that was a good realization that it's like, okay, I need to start working on myself, and I need to improve my game in every single way. Because if I want to attract a partner, the best partner I possibly can be, then I need to be the best possible person I can be, because not like, I don't know how you're gonna take it, but then like, if you're up there, you're only gonna attract, the same level of people as you. So that's my failure, and it's stuck with me ever since. Never stop working on yourself. Steph?
Yes. No, like honestly, when you started, even before you mentioned like your relationship failure, like I didn't, like, the only ones I could think of when I read your question was, it was like my relationships, like there was there was always something like bad. I mean, obviously, right, because a breakup, usually something bad happens, right? But I do learn from it, and I just like never want to look back on it, kind of thing. But I guess like one of the bigger ones that stuck with me was back when I was in college. Just this, I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know if, I mean, I think it was like on both ends, as obviously it takes two to tango. But I was just so bitter because he wanted me to stay in Washington. And I was just like, no, I want to be back home, blah, blah. And because of that, I started to like just distance myself from his friends and just like be like, no, like, screw you guys. I don't want to, like, I'm not going to end up here anyway. So I don't need to be friends with you anymore. Which, the whole opposite of staying connected.
Right.
And after I lost that connection, like after I was already back here and stuff, because I still see them on social media or whatever, I'm just like, and I have one really good friend that's up there still, and she's still friends with all of them. I'm just like, oh, I screwed up, like I burned so many bridges by taking this relationship to like affecting all these other people that I was friends with. And I was like, oh my God, like I can't do that. Like these people probably think I'm super shitty or whatever, but at the same time, I'm just like, I can't dwell on it. I just have to move forward and remember not to do something like that, because I don't want that. I realize how small the world is in that sense, you like really got to watch what you say, because it can come back and bite you.
True. Thank you for sharing.
Oh,
Okay. We're all here putting our heart in our sleeves.
We're talking about relationships too nowadays.
You can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it was, I mean, it's work related, but as a designer myself as well, putting too much on my plate has caused me to, fail, and also realize, what my priorities are and what I need to really focus on at that time. So just one of my previous jobs, I was working at an agency, and aside from that, I was also doing like side projects as well. And when those two kind of collided together, it was just overwhelming, and to the point where I just had to like, stop everything and just like look back and just, realize what's really important, like what projects are important and all that. So I don't know if you deal with that as well, with like different projects. And
Thankfully, my projects and like side stuff, or like I mean, my only side thing is gym and food. So I feel like they'll never collide, thankfully. So I definitely didn't have to come across that. Yeah.
Well, so finding what your priorities are.
You want to ask another question, or shall we go to the recommendation of the week?
Recommendation.
Okay.
Yes.
Usually this is the last question we ask our guests. It's the recommendation of the week. We need to find a little jingle for that.
Recommendation.
Something like that. Okay, so it can be a tip, an advice, a quote, a reflection for the week. And since Steph is our guest, please share your recommendation of the week.
So my recommendations, I guess it's like a quote kind of thing that I found in my planner. It's a passion planner. And every week they like have a quote that you can read about and like try and implement in your life. So the one that I really like so far from this 2021 planner is the 4 agreements. 1, be impeccable with your word. 2, don't take anything personally. 3, don't make assumptions. And 4, always do your best. And that was by Don Miguel Ruiz. I have no idea if I said that right, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot. And for that quote, they just said to pick one and work on it that week. But you can, I mean, honestly, you can just, it can be one of those, your mantras or whatever, you know, some people, they say it to themselves like every day or what. And I think anyone can use this. I mean, it's so universal and only good can come out of it, I feel, you know, and stuff that I honestly have to work on every single one. So it's helped me to kind of change my mind because I'm a very naturally pessimistic person. I always like think the worst is going to happen. Like I have to prepare for the worst, but that's not the healthiest, you know? So, yeah.
Is there one in particular that you're working on right now or have been working on?
Don't take anything personally. That's a big one for me because I'm a very emotional person where like if someone says something, I think I'm better now, but I used to be like, oh, that hurt. Like what did they not like me then? Like, oh my gosh, did they really mean that? And when they don't, I mean, they could be kidding. They could just, they said it and they totally forgot about it like the next days. But for me, it lingers. Like I'll remember it and I'm just like, I dwell on it and it doesn't do any good.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I really need to work on that. No.
All right. I have a quote as well that I wake up to every morning. It is by the legendary Muhammad Ali. Don't count the days, make the days count. You know, we work, I mean, I work like an 8 to 5 job, but then at the same time, you know, I'm not counting the hours of when I'm done with work. It's like, how am I going to make the best of those 8 hours? Plus, you know, after that, after work, there's, you know, the rest of the day to make time, you know, to work out, to post on my food blog and to connect with like friends that I haven't seen in a while or just anybody. So don't count the days, make the days count.
There you go.
Wait, can I change my answer?
Sure.
Wait, actually, I think I really like the always do your best because it kind of goes back to like me being like a pessimistic person. So I always feel like I'm not doing, or like not that I'm not doing my best, but like I don't think I'm getting to that level of like what my boss is super demanding and has this like super high expectation, which I know I cannot meet. But I mean, I'm trying my best, but I know I'm not making it. So then I feel I'm honestly my worst enemy. Like I just put myself down so much, like, oh my God, I'm so dumb. I don't get it. I'm so slow. Maybe this isn't even for me anymore. And I just put myself down and like, I have to step back. Like my friend actually told me this too, like, you know, I just learned I just gotta do your best. And that's all anyone can ask for from you. And honestly, actually give your best, you know, like not just like, oh, I just did my best, you know, whatever. But actually do it. I'm like, okay, you know what? You're right. I have my own limits and capacities and it is what it is. And if my boss doesn't like it, you know, fine. But I know that I gave it my all. And I have to be proud of myself, you know, kind of thing. I can't please everyone. I can't meet everyone's expectations, but as long as I know I gave it my all, then I need to be proud of myself.
Exactly. It starts eternally.
Yeah.
All right, last but not least.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and we've mentioned this a lot, but I am in long distance. And the thing about long distance is that sometimes the little things matter so much because of your emotions, and you miss the other person.
Yes.
And sometimes, like it just happened a couple of days ago, and we were talking about like Kelly, who was on the show. She was like, I want to come back at a later date, you know, like a week or whatever. It's not and then I can see you. But no, it's like at the time I was like, why can't you come earlier, to see me? Because you're only gonna be here for a couple of weeks, and then afterwards you're gonna be gone for another like month and a half, right? Which sounds completely reasonable if you look at to my point of view. But there's a caveat. It's like now looking back and now like me forcing her to come earlier, me telling her like, that's so selfish. Like think of me, think of what I'm going through. How does that make her feel? And the more I think about it, the question I always ask myself is like, does it matter if you wait a little bit more? Because I've been waiting for like 4 years, for us
Yes.
finally be together. What's another week? Like if she needs to just chill and like do her own thing, then I just need her to let her do her own thing. And if I'm upset or whatever, that's totally my ego.
That's on you. Yeah.
That's on me. And I'll just find something else to do. Like, oh, you can't see me for a week. Like, good. I'll just do more podcasts. I'll hang out with Kenny or I'll connect with my other friends. I'll work out more. Like, no big deal. It's just at the time, it felt like
it felt like she was being selfish.
Yeah, it's like, why can't you come see me? Like,
but it's not like it. But the goal is still the same, right? It's like it's not like that she doesn't want to see you. Like in the end, she wants to be with you. So
yeah. She just needs some time for herself. Yeah, and that was selfish of me to put my own expectations on her.
I feel like that's I would be the same as you, to be honest. I'd be like, what the heck? Here I am.
Yeah.
Why aren't you coming?
For sure. It's like it just flares up. But now the better thing to do for me is just to talk about it. Like, hey, this is how I feel about it. How do you feel about it? So that way we can work together instead of just like clash.
Understand.
Yes. Instead of like placing negative values on her, like, oh, she doesn't want to see me, she's so selfish. Oh, she doesn't want to come earlier. Like, what is she thinking? Like, no, let's just have a conversation.
Yeah. That's very,
I'll see.
That's very, oh my goodness. That
goes well. And
would it matter if you wait a little bit more? No. So
no.
I feel like whenever I'm stuck with something and I ask myself questions, it allows me to like detach. And then like, okay, that makes sense. Like, yeah. Oh, cool. Another fun episode. Thank you again, Steph.
Thanks so much, Steph, for being a part of.
Thank you for having me.
Any last minute plugs for any businesses, for yourself, your social media?
Where can they find you?
Et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, follow me on Instagram at Steph Kuroda. Yay! I just post a lot of food.
Yeah, that's STKURODA.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, thank you again, and thank you to everyone for tuning in to another fresh episode. You can catch us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. We definitely want to hear from you. Yes, this way. Anyway, you can also follow us on social media. We're on all platforms, and wherever you go on the road, you can listen to us on Spotify. We can be there whenever you need us. And until next time, stay healthy, take care of one another, and we'll see you again for another fresh episode of Staying Connected.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.